After the 2022 season, Sebastian Vettel will retire from Formula One. What does his future hold now that he has finished his F1 career? The four-time world champion declared that he would stop competing at the end of the current season. He explained that he wanted to spend more time with his expanding family and less time traveling across the world to the different race venues. The intense logistics of F1 also became a negative factor in the climate activist's life. After a highly rated 15-year F1 career that included 53 race victories and 4 world championships, the 35-year-old Vettel has recently gained a reputation for having important interests outside of F1. Pursuing his environmental interests and spending time with his family were thought to be important factors in his decision to leave Aston Martin after 2 less than successful years. Fans will undoubtedly be curious about the German's future plans. Many retired Formula One drivers go on to pursue the thrill of speed in other racing disciplines. Vettel acknowledges that could happen, but only after taking a break from motorsport entirely to spend some quality time with his wife and kids. When questioned about his future plans, he replied, "Lots of things and lots of ideas. I have lots of interests, some are very close to racing, and maybe they will take up more room in the future, and others have nothing to do with racing. One thing is what we do, and the other is who we are." The answer is that it's a little bit unknown, because even though we have these plans, there is no guarantee they will all work and make me happy. I'm also aware that it's a big adrenaline rush when you're on the grid and the lights go off, and I won't have that anymore, so I'll see how that feels. For sure, there is maybe the possibility to race other things in this world, but I'm not stepping out of this car and stepping into another straight away. That's not the decision I took and not the way I feel. Let's see, but I'm excited. Lewis Hamilton, a 7-time world champion, expressed his opinions on Vettel's retirement. Like Vettel, Hamilton made his Formula One debut in 2007, and ever since the two have developed a close relationship. Before stating his expectation that Vettel will return to the sport, Hamilton joked about how the German had been a nuisance early in their careers. Hamilton commented, "We always had such great battles. I was just sitting here, thinking most drivers are coming back. You're probably going to come back. You'll be back. Formula One has a way of sucking you back in. I don't think it's a goodbye show, it's see you later, because he'll come back. I'm going to put my money on that he's going to come back, just take a sabbatical, like 1 year, maybe 2 years maximum, and then come back." Vettel replied jokingly, "Maybe we can make a deal, when you want to get away, I can come back, I don't know." A number of drivers, including some of Vettel's old teammates, paid tribute to the German racer. Vettel's 2014 Red Bull teammate Daniel Ricciardo made a statement saying, "I only have good things to say. He's a very caring individual. I think back to 2013, when he won every race in the second half of the season. It was a relentless approach. He just wanted to destroy the competition. He's a raw competitor." The first Red Bull world champion since Sebastian Vettel, Max Verstappen, had this to say. "He came through as a junior and basically achieved all of it in the sport. He's had a career that a lot of people could only dream of, but, as a person, he's always been very caring. One thing I will always remember from Silverstone last year. I came back from the hospital to the motorhome to get all my stuff, and he was there waiting for me and he was like, 'Max, you okay? How are you doing?' He is not only there for performance but also means well." Vettel's Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc made the following reflection. "As a person, he's been incredible. In Formula 2, I remember doing the simulator work, which is not easy because it's really tiring. I thought that Seb probably didn't even know I was on the simulator. And I received a letter one day thanking me for all the hard work, and it meant a lot for me at the time." Vettel's title opponent in 2010 and 2012, Fernando Alonso, commented, "One last time sharing the track with you. It will be emotional and sad at the same time, but I wish you all the best for your next chapter. We shared so many things over the last 15 years. Sometimes we fought for championships, sometimes for 7th places. We still enjoy every single battle and respect each other as much as we could. If Vettel considers getting back into a race seat, there are some exciting alternatives to Formula One, Extreme E being the most popular. Extreme E would be the perfect series for Sebastian Vettel to join if he decides to keep racing. The German's love of the natural environment fits in wonderfully with the all-electric vehicles and the emphasis the sport puts on raising awareness of climate change worldwide. The motorsports also have fewer scheduled races, allowing him to spend more time with his family. If he decides to avoid racing, he has more than enough ongoing environmental projects to keep him occupied. The father of three frequently speaks about his love of sustainability, green initiatives, and the environment. In 2021, together with students, Vettel worked on the construction of B hotels shaped like a Formula One racing car next to the Red Bull Ring. Vettel commented, "This morning was very exciting because I was out close to the track on a field and we installed a racing car, but a very unconventional racing car because it is a hotel for insects and bees. I had a group of kids with me to build up the racing car. The idea behind it is to build up a little more space for insects, and in particular bees, to have more space where they can flourish and live. Hopefully there will be a lots of flowers growing in the future and a lot of bees coming to their new home." Sebastian Vettel had a terrible race at the British GP in the middle of the 2021 season. He spun out while battling two-time drivers' champion Fernando Alonso, and he was eventually forced to retire from the race. Vettel was not afraid to display his humanitarian side, as he stayed after the race to pick up trash from the grandstands. The Aston Martin driver's actions were praised by fans in comments posted to social media. Furthermore, the four-time drivers' champion stayed in the UK and managed the recycling of the trash gathered around the track throughout the course of the weekend. The return of Vettel to the sport after a few years is anticipated by many drivers and journalists in the F1 paddock. Despite his abilities behind the wheel, he might not return in that role. Vettel may return with the aim of lowering the carbon footprint of motorsports, in line with his campaign for a greener future. Sebastian Vettel has claimed that if Formula One is honest with itself, all of its environmental commitments are only a nice slogan, with no real push for change behind them. When it comes to speaking about issues he is passionate about, the German has emerged as one of the top voices in Formula One in recent years. In that regard, it appears that nothing is more important to Vettel than environmental issues. He has been known to wear unique race helmets to draw attention to problems in the host nations and the world at large throughout his final season. When questioned about his views on climate change on the BBC's Question Time programme in the UK, Vettel admitted to being a hypocrite, urging international leaders to take greater action to address the climate disaster while being in a sport that causes pollution itself. Formula One has set goals to become greener because of the notion that it is one of the sports with the highest carbon footprint due to the intercontinental travel logistics involved. The engines run on sustainable fuel, and the sports administrators set 2030 as their deadline for becoming carbon neutral. Vettel, on the other hand, has questioned the validity of these objectives, claiming that they are little more than a nice slogan, in the absence of a body to oversee Formula One in the pursuit to do so. Vettel raised his concerns during an interview. The question is, what happens if they don't meet the targets? Who is the controller? If Formula One controls itself, that's a nice slogan but not particularly credible. In the end, it is important that you are also prepared to take a slice of your own profits in order to take credible steps with it. Vettel angeredly stated, "Formula One is experiencing a boom right now, also due to the Netflix series. And now people are desperate to take advantage of this boom. The e-fuel technology is already there. It's not a new technology. Formula One likes to claim it is a technical pioneer. They would have been pioneers if they had unpacked it 10 years ago. But better late than never." We are all sad to see a driver with Sebastian Vettel's level of brilliance leave the sport. Someone with a caring personality like his will truly be missed. Although we are unsure of his future plans, whether they involve motorsport or not, he will have the full backing of the millions of Formula One fans he inspired over the course of his career. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video and leave a comment on why you will miss Sebastian Vettel.